everybody! We are filming live and getting ready for episode number 2 of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. I have created a new rocket ship, which we'll take a look at. It's the Fireball XL 1.1-2. So we've added some stuff here which will definitely give us plenty of capability of getting into orbit. However, we've run into an engineering problem. It's too heavy for the launch pad, so we're going to go ahead and pop over to the launch pad and upgrade it since we have enough funds. If we upgrade the launch pad, we can now actually have larger vessels and heavier vessels on the launch pad. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to select the XL11-2 with Valentina Kerbal as the pilot. Stick that one on the launch pad. So we've flown 3 or 4 missions, I can't remember exactly, but this is hopefully the first mission where we're actually going to reach orbit. And we do know we have a couple of situations still to get this experiment done. We're going to be getting it while flying and also at some other time getting it in the high atmosphere. In fact, maybe I'll do the high atmosphere this time and do flying later on. So, SAS is on with the T key, and up we go. Oh yeah, these engines are providing plenty of thrust, so we'll go ahead and start pushing the rocket over. Push, push, push. Push, push, push. Gravity turn sort of maybe a little bit, maybe initiated. Kinda. We're going awfully fast. Goodbye, stage. I'm going to go ahead and let my rocket slow down a little bit. Try and push it over a little bit more. Okay, that ought to work. So this booster stage is now sending our apoapsis, that is the highest point in our orbit, up quite nicely. In fact, might be going up too fast. It'll be okay. Make sure I'm on the correct microphone all here. We're not in the upper atmosphere yet, I don't think. Is there the materials bay? Oh, we are in the upper atmosphere. Okay. The rarefied air has caused interesting changes to the gel samples. It seems like something is happening with the interior structure. Go ahead and keep that experiment. Solid rocket fuel is out, and that was a terrible, terrible, terrible trajectory. Absolutely terrible. So I'm going to revert to vehicle assembly. We're going to make some changes here. Really quick. We're going to limit this thrust a smidge. And I think limit that one as well. Let's launch that. Yeah, I don't want to burn up in the atmosphere. It's really hard to actually burn up in the atmosphere going up, but it is possible. So anyway, Valentina's all set. What's our contract again? Oh yeah, stack decoupler. Dang it. I keep forgetting. So I have this little contract here. We'll just toss this on here. Boop. Yeah. That just fulfills a contract. That's all that is. Anyway, without further ado, it's launch time. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Completed a contract. Congratulations. Actually launching now. Okay, let's push the rocket over. I'm using SAS, which uses torque wheels to do this. I'm going to push the rocket over to about 10 degrees off the horizon. And then we're going to let the atmosphere do its job of keeping the rocket stable across the fins. So this is, once again, a standard gravity turn. I no longer need to control the rocket. All I need to do is tap the staging. Booster stage complete, staging off, and other booster goes. Okay. Now we should see this apoapsis climbing fairly nicely, but hopefully we'll actually also see some lateral velocity building up as well. The whole point of the gravity turn is that you don't need to use any control surfaces and lose efficiency by not flying essentially straight forward. So things are looking really good. 30,000 meter apoapsis right now. Ah, this is looking great. Definitely heading up in the generally upward correct direction. Not quite in space. Boom. And bam. At 50% throttle is more than enough. X. We can go ahead and apply a little bit of thrust to push this apoapsis up a smidge. I don't want to spend too much fuel. But we're going to get this up to 75 kilometers, which is just barely out of Kerbin's atmosphere. Just like that. Now, we can keep SAS on, and we can keep ourselves facing more or less prograde as we ascend out of the atmosphere. We're in the upper atmosphere now, so we'll go ahead and observe the materials bay, which is going to be worth 25 science. And we don't have any other science to get that we're missing at this point. Tabsy Ragu has returned to the channel. Hello, Tabsy. Welcome back. Yes, Kerbal Space Program 1.1 came out yesterday, as of the recording of this. You know, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Kerbal Space Program was the very first game that got me involved in YouTube streaming at all. And it was on another channel that I still have that I don't actually add any new content to, called Orbital Mechanics. Okay, we're getting to a point now where we need to think about thrusting again to try and reach this orbit that we're aiming for. This thing called orbit. Power to the engines. We are going. Our orbital trajectory is growing. We're going. Things are looking good. Sergio has returned to the channel. Welcome back, Sergio. We are back with some Kerbal Space Program 1.1. How about that? Okay, that engine has run out of juice. Stage it off. On to the Terrier. This little guy is super efficient in space. So this little fuel tank that we have should probably, maybe with just a little bit of luck, actually get us into orbit. So I keep flipping back and forth between map and normal mode. I really want to watch this apoapsis and try and keep it up where it is now. Let's go ahead and bring up this indicator to find our fuel that we're using. Oh, things are looking good. Good. Almost. So close. Bingo! The flag's flipped. We have ourselves an actual orbit. Huzzah! So, let's go over these messages. World's first milestones. The recent accomplishments of your space program have attached contributions from numerous organizations. We earned 28,000 funds, 3 science, and some reputation for having reached orbit. And, we didn't tell the recovery team that we'd be staying in space, so they're still looking. Good job. We're in space. We're totally in space. Now that we're actually in an orbit, in space, with plenty of fuel remaining, Sergio is asking a question. This is a new career or a previous one. I have started up a brand new career for 1.1 since there were significant enough changes where I thought it would warrant doing so. It'll probably be another year before we see another major update, so I'll just play this career mode for a while, see how far I can get. But we're in space, which means we can do some cool stuff. Now that we're in space and we're orbiting, we can do the just reading a comment for a minute. Sorry about that pause. We can do the quintessential orbital survey of Kerbin. Let's get a crew report first of all. See if there's anything new. Nope, nothing in there. So, what I want to do is every time I get over a piece of land that looks interesting, or a feature that looks interesting, I want to get outside and do an EVA report. Because here we see we're doing an EVA report from space just above Kerbin's water. But we already have that one. So we're just going to hang on. Reset that experiment. Now we're coming over some land here pretty soon. Do an EVA report here. This is an EVA report which is from space just above the Kerbin's grasslands. Go ahead and keep that. Get back on board. And as we watch our map, our next EVA report will be probably over here-ish. So let's fast forward time until we reach this land, which is a fertile land, and we will call it this land. EVA. An EVA report from space just above Kerbin's highlands. And every time we do this, we are amassing tons and tons of science. Well, tons compared to what we have. That's the highlands. This is all the highlands. This might be a mountain range, maybe? Let's try that. I'm just exploring any features that look interesting. EVA report from the highlands. We've already got that. It'll say we're going to dump that experiment. You can shut up, stupid indicator. This looks quite rocky and distinct, so we will EVA here. Still the highlands. Fine. Over the dark side of the planet we go. This is going to be over the water again, so there's nothing particularly exciting there. This is definitely a patch of dark. EVA. EVA report. This is from space just above Kerbin's mountains. And what's this green patch here? Map. Forgot what I was doing. EVA, that's the highlands. And this looks rather dry and barren. So, EVA report. Just above Kerbin's deserts. And I do believe that is all the stuff that I'm going to get, really, that's of any use. So, at least with this orbital trajectory, we can do other things, but we'll save that for another time. Let us face ourselves retrograde and prepare for re-entry. Activate the thrusters, and we'll go ahead and try and bring ourselves up down around here. Periapsis comes down. If you want, a nice return from the moon or an extremely tall orbit, aim for 30,000 meters. But since we're not in a particularly long orbit, I'm going to aim lower. 10,000 meters should be good. We'll come down along this line here, somewhere in the ocean between here and there, probably. Now that we've gotten ourselves oriented for re-entry, we need to do one last thing, which is to climb down here, activate our thing, collect this data, and then get back on our ship. There we go. That's a good comment. Sergio says, if this game had some RPG touches to it, it would be the perfect game, in his honest opinion. That'd be kind of cool. All right. We are ready to ditch the engine. I'm going to face north so it doesn't actually change my velocity. It just changes my my heading a little bit. And decouple from that engine. Goodbye. Now this is where things get really fun. In the atmosphere. Turn off SAS, we'll let our craft do its thing. As we turn over, we'll keep an eye on this stuff, because it's gonna blow up. It doesn't have any sort of heat shield or parachute or anything. It's no longer necessary. It's basically space junk. And we have sent it on a ballistic trajectory to kaboom. Keep an eye on it. You can just barely see it there, reflecting off the sun. Here's re-entry interface. As it comes screaming through, heating up. I wonder if we can switch to it. Oh, yes, we can. Excellent. That's what it looks like burning up. It's burning up. Sergio asks, is there any reason to split the ship before re-entry? I usually just leave the rest of the rocket and recover a few parts to survive under the command pod. I have found in 1.1, I don't know if it was just the way I did it or something, but when I tried to do that before, my entire ship blew up because of the new heating the way heating works. Like each part can transfer heat to other parts depending on how it works. Heat shields are specifically designed to not transfer heat to other parts, whereas rocket engines and stuff like that are not. So watch this thing. You can even see, I can just barely see its red glow over there as it comes down. It's pretty stable on the engine bell though, but it is definitely going to blow up at some point. And we're going to see it. Yeah, we're screaming now. Plunging into the ever-thickening atmosphere. Yeah, see, it's this. Something is overheating. It's about to explode. There it is, right there. This re-entry is such a good job with it. We should definitely hear an explosion here any moment. Any moment. Come on, I know you can do it. Slipmaskin has joined the channel. Hi, great to see you play KSP again. He's enjoyed my KSP videos since 0.9. Yes, I remember 0.9. It might not blow up. Well, it's going to blow up when it hits the waves without it, or hits the water without any parachutes. You can still slip over to it. How are we looking here? So this is a nice shallow descent, bleeding off, taking plenty of time to bleed off lots of speed. That ship is now 3 kilometers away. There's no way that thing gets out of the atmosphere. Still flip to it. It's going to crash on the horizon. We're now slowing down. As soon as our parachute light turns white, we'll go ahead and deploy that. I am really, really surprised that this thing did not blow up. Like, super surprised. Any second now. There we go. Yeah, they really increased the range at which you can do physics stuff. This thing's going to splash down and explode. Whereas we are going to splash down safely. Let's go ahead and accelerate time here. Get this recovery over with. Oh, the way this thing sits on my head. Okay. Coming down. Is it gone? The other craft is dead. Yeah, some of the greatest things about Kerbal Space Program are the explosions when they occur for, you know, for reasons. Okay. Ooh. The recent accomplishments of your space program have attracted contributions from numerous organizations. We've returned to the surface from orbit for 28,000 more funds. Heck yeah. They did a really good, since now they're running the game in Unity 5, the performance is much, much better. Like, it really performs a lot better. As I move the microphone away from my face. Okay. EVA report from space just above Kerbin's grasslands, the Kerbin's highlands, Kerbin's mountains, Kerbin's deserts. We got a materials study from Kerbin's upper atmosphere and recovery of a vessel returned from Kerbin orbit, which is all worth 116 science total. Reputation gained. Valentina is now level 1, which means she has new maneuver nodes and available. So Tabsy is asking if I'm running on 64-bit or on x86. I am running on 64-bit now. So yes, definitely 64-bit. As is once again the case at the end of the episode, we will go spend our science. We have available to us any of these 90-point nodes. Do I get the 90-point node, or do we just finish this one off for some stable stability? Fuel systems? Oh, that would make life so much easier. General construction. Flight control. Fuel systems. Heavy rocketry. We need some bigger... Look at that booster stage. Propulsion systems. These are tiny engines. Aerodynamics, which are good for space planes. Landing. We will eventually want all this stuff for getting to the moon, or to the mun. Yeah, this fuel pipe, Sergio's making a comment, this fuel pipe right here does wonders because we can do what's called asparagus staging, which I will explain in great detail once again. And of course, different scientific instruments, the Presmat barometer. It's always a good idea to have new scientific experiments. And electronics gives us various batteries and solar panels and stuff. We will eventually need all of this stuff for some of the things. I'm going to go ahead and grab without an adapter, this is kind of silly to have. Fuel systems works because it gives us the FLT 800 fuel tank and external fuel ducts, so we can do some pretty advanced rocket construction with that. We have fins. We don't need atmospheric control fins, really. We got them in aviation anyway. General construction. We can take passengers if we get general construction and do some of those passenger things. I'm going to commit to general construction, as well as, since I don't have enough science for one of the 90-point nodes now, we will go ahead and get flight control, so we have that unlocked. Small inline reaction wheel is pretty useful. And that is going to be it. See here, that fuel pipe does wonders. I would go for science for, yeah. That's a good suggestion. Sergio makes a good suggestion to go for additional science because it boosts further research. Basically, it just gives me another new instrument that I could do research really quickly on all the things that I've already been to and gain a lot of science from. But I've committed to general construction and flight control. And with that, we'll be able to wrap up episode number 2 of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. Grab a sip of water. And if you're tuning here live, stick around. There's more to come. If you're watching the episodes, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.